In the globally competitive world that we live in today, it is becoming increasingly important for people to get a college degree at a minimum, and in a lot of cases, an advanced degree. We are increasingly competing with people from all over the world for jobs, and as such, we have to constantly strive to improve ourselves to be more and more competitive. In a previous video, we talked about the idea of student loan debt to be considered good debt because it helps fund our ability to improve ourselves so we can earn more money in the future. Having money to pay for college is becoming increasingly important because the cost of advanced education has been increasing rapidly for years. The average cost of tuition and fees at a public four-year institution in the United States has increased by an average annual rate of 9% per year for more than 20 years, according to the data from the Education Data Initiative. This annual cost increase has significantly outpaced the rate of inflation up through 2022. As such, our salaries and income have not risen fast enough to pay for college. We are falling farther and farther behind, so we need to aggressively find ways to save so our children can afford college and graduation without the massive load of crushing debt. In today's video, we will do a deep dive on the various types of savings options for college. We'll give you a playbook for how to navigate this. Before we begin, please like this video and hit the subscribe button with notifications turned on so you'll be the first to know about new content. Our mission at the Personal Finance and Investing channel is to empower people to achieve financial independence. Subscribing will help us achieve that goal. Now, let's get back to today's video. In order to save for college for your children, there are a few options that are most popular. They include 529 plans, Coverdell education savings accounts, custodial accounts, and Roth IRAs. We'll go through each of these in detail. Before we do that, let's briefly define what a college savings plan is. This is a way to set aside money for future education for a child with tax benefits. You invest after-tax money into an account that then grows tax-free. After-tax means that you pay taxes on the income in the year you earn it and then invest that money. This is identical to what we discussed in a previous video on Roth IRAs, which are invested after taxes. With a college savings plan, the account then grows tax-free. Let's go through the four main types of college savings accounts now. First is the most common and is known as the 529 College Savings Plan or Education Savings Account. This is often referred to as a 529 plan. 529 plans are state-sponsored investment vehicles that come in two types: prepaid tuition that are usually associated with specific state schools, or an education savings plan sponsored by each state which can be used at different schools inside or even outside that state. Let's discuss some of the pros and cons of 529 plans. Pros. Number 1, no income restrictions or contribution limits, so feel free to invest as much as you want. Note, there may be aggregate contribution limits based on the particular plan, so please research this to determine the specifics of your plan. 2, accounts can accept contributions from third parties such as friends or family members. 3, returns on the money are exempt from federal taxes. 4, plans can cover expenses for K-12 education as well as college. Money can be used to pay for tuition, fees, room, board, books, supplies, computer equipment, or to pay down student loans. However, for K-12 education, withdrawals are limited to $10,000 in tuition expenses. 5. Withdrawals are tax-free if used for qualified education expenses. 6. Plans can be transferred to another child. This is referred to as changing the account beneficiary. The cons of 529 plans. Number 1, the available investment options are limited to what the state offers. 2, details of plans vary from state to state and therefore can be confusing. And 3, funds for non-qualified education expenses are taxed and come with a 10% penalty. In short, use the money only for qualified education expenses. The next type of college savings plan is called a Coverdell Education Savings Account, or ESA. These were originally called Education IRAs and sometimes are still referred to as such. They were named for the Georgia senator who sponsored the bill in Congress. To be eligible to open a Coverdell ESA, a parent or donor cannot have a modified adjusted gross income, or MAGI, greater than $110,000 a year, and contributions are limited to $2,000 per student per year. Contributions are made after tax. The pros and cons of Coverdell ESAs. The pros. Number 1, withdrawals are tax-free if used for qualified education expenses. 2, plans can be transferred from one child in the family to another, aka changing the beneficiary. 3. Plans can accept third-party contributions, but total contributions from all donors is limited to $2,000 per child per year. The third type of college savings program is a custodial school savings account, or simply custodial account. Custodial accounts were created as a result of the Uniform Gift to Minors Act and Uniform Transfer to Minors Act, also known as UGMA and UTMA. Adults may set up and manage the custodial accounts on behalf of their children. This money is managed by the custodian, typically the parent or guardian, though it belongs to the child named on the account. This is basically a savings account that a parent can set up for the minor. Funds may be withdrawn from the account for any purpose before they reach the age of majority, typically 18, but depends on the state, so long as it is used for the benefit of the child. Once the child reaches the age of majority, the money goes directly to the child and they may use it for any purpose they see fit. Here are the pros and cons of custodial accounts. The pros. Number 1, money may be used for any purpose to benefit the child, even beyond education. This gives more flexibility than either 529 or ESAs. Withdrawals thus don't have any penalties if used for the benefit of the child. 2, there are no contribution limits. 3, there are no income limits for donors. And 4, there are potential tax benefits on growth of the account by leveraging the lower tax rate of the minor. The fourth type of college savings account is the Roth IRA. In the previous video, we discussed that the Roth IRA was a retirement account, and that is true. That is its primary purpose. However, the laws governing Roth IRAs provide flexibility for withdrawals to be made before 59.5 years old if the funds are to be used for education expenses. See the previous video for a deep dive on retirement plans to get more information on Roth IRAs. Contributions to 529 plans and Roth IRAs have identical tax treatment in that they are both made with after-tax dollars, meaning you have paid income taxes already on the amount of money that you invested. They then grow tax-free and are withdrawn without any tax implications in the future. There are pros and cons of using a Roth IRA as a college savings account. The pros. Number 1, withdrawals can be used for educational purposes prior to 59.5 and for any purpose beyond that age. 2, qualified withdrawals are tax-free. 3, investment options are open to any public securities, funds, etc., so there is much more flexibility on investment options than 529 plans. And 4, you can use the money for something else if your child doesn't have education expenses or for another child altogether. And the cons. Number 1, there are contribution limits for Roth IRAs, whereas there are fewer restrictions on 529 plans. 2, non-qualified withdrawals are subject to tax on gains plus a 10% penalty. As you can see, there are a lot of options with some benefits and drawbacks of each. So what is the best option for you? This obviously depends on your specific situation. However, we can offer some broad suggestions about how to approach this. First, we recommend that people prioritize retirement over savings for kids' college. Kids have other options for college, whether it be less expensive schools or taking student loans. But if you don't have enough money for retirement, that's a bigger problem than your child not having enough saved for college. So in general, saving for retirement is a bigger priority. Second, if you do decide to utilize a dedicated educational savings plan for your children, we suggest defaulting to the 529 plan. These offer the most broad benefits, including, number 1, no income or contribution limits. Other plans have limits and are thus more complicated to manage. Number 2, tax-favorable growth and tax-free withdrawals for qualified expenses. 3, ability to change beneficiaries. And 4, ability to accept contributions from third parties, such as friends or family members. While there are some limitations, these overall benefits outweigh the benefits of the other options, and we suggest utilizing a 529 plan for kids' college. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Also, let us know if you have specific topics or questions that you want us to address in future videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can help people achieve our mission of empowering people to achieve financial independence. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.